Hello, everyone, and welcome to MSME Africa. This is where we bring you all the opportunities regarding your business, your as an entrepreneur across Nigeria, Africa, and all over the world. Today, we're talking about something quite interesting, and interesting enough, we always bring you the best hands. Well, so the question would be, what do you do? When you have a brilliant business idea and that takes shape, but the path to securing necessary capital remains shrouded in uncertainty. Well, we all understand that every successful business requires a solid infusion of capital to fuel its growth and expansion. Whether you're just a startup that's looking out to make a mark, or you're an established company that's aiming to stay ahead of the curve, there is also the need for finance. And today we're going to be talking about the guidelines for applying for the Grooming Endowment, which is the Get Accelerated Fund. We're not just talking about this alone, we're talking with an expert. Well, when I say an expert, she's a recipient of this grant, of this fund, and she's in the best position to put us through. Today with me, I have Lucy Chioma. She's the founder of Agrodemi. Agrodemi is a social enterprise startup that provides training, digital tools, and a resource marketplace for agribusiness. I'd like to leave it at that. Good to have you on the conversation today, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Yes, so I just read your profile in a very humble way, as humble as possible. But I know that there is a lot, and I would want you to, just briefly talk to us about that.
So my name is Lucy Chioma. I am first a project manager before a business owner. So I help social enterprises scale new projects, pilot projects that has not been existent anywhere else. And I also run Agrodemi, where we provide training and marketplace for people who want to start agribusiness that has nothing to do with farming. This we have been doing first as a nonprofit since 2017 and then incorporated along the process as we saw traction in what we were doing.
I want you to talk about, the process of getting the funds that we're talking about today, maybe in the course of the conversation, because I really want real life practical experience that people can actually learn from. So let's talk about these fund that we're talking about. We're talking about the Grooming Endowment Get Accelerated Fund. Talk to me about this fund. What's it about, really?
So Grooming Endowment Fund, GET, is a fund that provides 10 million naira to five startup founders over through the application process. But something very interesting is once you get selected as a finalist, you're entitled to 1 million naira grant. So unlike other grants, you get to see this is one grant that awards you for the first of all being a finalist. And I would say other most grants will ask for your arm and your leg. I say this because I also have a lot of experience applying for grants both for myself and for organizations that I work with. And I'll say that Women Endowment are looking for founders who are pretty much early stage and looking for funds they can use to scale what they have done with enough traction, right? And they do that with ease. So, and they provide the right set of things you need, which is first of all a boot camp where you get to like calm your nerves down, be around people who are building like you, and then have mentors where you get to ask questions to this mentor as you are implementing. Because the idea is once you're a finalist, you get access to 1 million naira grant. They give you a time frame. For our set, it was like 8 weeks where you have to go and work with the 1 million naira. Let's see. So it brings everybody back to the same leveling ground. So irrespective of the number of traction whoever person has, with a 1 million naira point, how can you move from a point A to point B? And what's going to be the distance between the point A and B with 1 million naira? That is what they then use to now validate to say, okay, if this person has moved from point A to point B with 1 million naira, then this person can move from point B to point Z with 10 million naira. So it's pretty much get into the system and then just prove your worth without feeling like you're in the competition with the next person because everybody's on the same leveling ground.
Hmm.
And then the selection process is as from that leveling. learning grants. That's in summary is what the GET funding is about.
I've heard millions, 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 and well, one very key point I would really like us to clarify is this sector specific? Is it for people in the agricultural sector? Is it for manufacturing? What is it sector specific, basically?
No, Grooming Endowment Trust funding, it's not sector specific. They are looking out for businesses that embed tech in what they do. They're also looking out for businesses that solve a societal problem. So social impact is something that is very, very key to the kind of businesses that they select into their program. I remember during my set, all 10 of us were building across different sectors. There were no same sector in, in our set. So we had somebody in agriculture, somebody in food, somebody in education, somebody in research. We had someone in procurement. We had another one in music. So that's how our set was diverse, and that's something they are very, very keen at. So irrespective of your sector, do you use tech to do what you do? Does your product solve a problem? Is this social impact? Then yes, you fit in. And this year they are updated approach, which is like, do you have traction, as they had mentioned on their website? And are you between 6 months to 2 years? Are you registered? Which is very, very key. That shows a lot of commitment. So it's not sector agnostic. It's not sector specific. It's sector agnostic. You can apply irrespective of whatever sector that you are in.
I think funds is something that is very interesting to everyone, be it an entrepreneur. Even Nigeria is looking for funds, trust me. So one might want to ask really, why is this really important? Why is this GET fund? Why is it really important? Why should I, as an entrepreneur, why should I apply for this?
I think every entrepreneur should know that anybody who has chosen to be an entrepreneur needs to also have understood that having cash to build what you are building is very, very important. And when we talk about cash, we also talk about patient funding, and that's allow you to test run, they allow you not to force revenue out of your business, but actually go through the process. More importantly, they allow you to also own your business at 100% certain while even getting all of the support that you need. And I think every entrepreneur who seeks to grow and who is seeking to solve a huge problem should jump on any grant opportunity they find, especially ones like this that provide beyond money but support system along the process.
Even me, I'm looking for funds. I won't lie. When the federal government said they'll be giving out 8K palliative, I was excited, thinking it would get to me. Anyway, I was just kidding. But I want us to learn a bit from your own experience. You have worked this path. How did you go about it? Tell me, what exactly did you do that was special or different from what any other person did?
I think one thing I did that was very, very special from um from my own reflection through the whole program was sincerity, right? I think I was sincere all through the process. I came into the program as a founder who has failed at our current way of trying to solve a problem. I was trying to pivot into a new solution for the same problem, right? And this was very, very clear to the funders even during the process of my interview. And it's something I want a lot of entrepreneurs to like be bold about. When you have tried out a solution to a problem, it's not working. It's fair to say, yes, I've done this for 2 years and it was not working with this solution. So we want to now try out this solution. I didn't try to fabricate numbers that didn't exist, which is something you get to see these days. And entrepreneurs try to do fabricate numbers, try to paint a picture of a traction that does not exist. So I was very sincere. I was open to ask for help. When I got into the top 10, before I even got into the top 10, I had shared the interview stage, you would have to share your story, right? You'd have to tell them how you started, where you were headed to. And sincerity is very, very key. And that's one thing I would say that stood out, that I think made my whole process like stood out for them. Even like after I'd gotten the 1 million naira funding, I was also very sincere as to what I was doing. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I have not done this before. In the first time I was trying this particular solution on this problem. This is what I want to do differently. Just that being sincere to say, hey, I've done it before and I failed, and I'm trying to do something else differently. It's very, very key, and it's something a lot of entrepreneurs don't own up to. So yeah, I would say if you can own up and be sincere, you stand one chance of also getting into the program.
Own up and be sincere. I'm going to hold on to that. So good enough that you've just shared your own experience. But I think on the flip side to that question, I would also ask, because as much as some people were chosen or you were one of the selected few, there were others that probably didn't get it or were rejected, as it may be. Why do people get rejected?
So pretty much, first of all, maybe you didn't fit into the criteria, which is like the first thing. I tell people when you're applying for a grant, look through the criteria. If they said you should be registered, please be registered. They said you should be incorporated, then it means they don't just want business name, they want you to have incorporation document. If they said you should be between 6 to 2 years old, it doesn't mean that your faith should not make you to apply as a 3-year-old business, but it also means that you should be fine with the fact that you wouldn't get selected. Because when they have so much application, if they have so many people apply part-time, irrespective of the grants, they would filter down with their requirements, right? So people don't get selected, maybe they don't fit into the requirements. Secondly, people don't also get selected for grants because they don't also fit into what the funders are looking to fund, right? I'm not looking for a particular sector, but I'm looking for this level of impact, and it doesn't align with what your business is doing. That does not mean that your business is wrong or is bad. It just means that you didn't align to what the funders were looking out for. And there's the last piece of faith, right? FATE, which is you're standing in front of can relate to, then you most probably stand like a higher chance of getting into that program, right? It happens everywhere. I've sat to watch pitch competition. We even see that with even investors that give in VC funds. Interest of whoever is interviewing you or whoever is selecting is also very key. So even after you are fitting to the criteria, if what you're doing is not of interest to them, then most likely you won't get selected.
So now, let's assume somebody has gotten the fund like you did. What's the next step from there? Do you just get the fund and go? What happens after you get the fund?
So pretty much, I also thought it was get the fund and go, right? So after we got the funding, we had follow-up calls, right? They built a community for us. So I get to reach out to my fellow founders in the community, in the alumni community, to say, hey, I need something. I remember one time, I think 2 months after we had received the funding. And yeah, something interesting to say is you get your funding less than a week after you win, right? And this is for assets. It wasn't in tranche payments. We got our payment in full, and this is not something you get to see from a lot of grant organization, right? So we got our payment in full, and it's something I have to put out there. And after getting our payments, the alumni community, you have a lot of support. I remember one time I was struggling with something in my business just before we had a relaunch of the new products we had in the market. And I reached out to one founder in the alumni community, and he drove down to my office and was with me like the whole day to ensure that like we sorted that out, right? That sense of ownership was something they imbibed in us, right? And a program manager during the program, I would call him to have sessions with him as regards like the decision I'm about to make. And he's out there. Something also interesting that also happened after the program was I met my program manager at a tech event, right? And I was still trying to like settle in, say, okay, I'm here to see what's going on. No, my program manager has seen me there immediately. Like he was already marketing me to the owners of the event, right? Oh, this is you don't get to see people have that kind of interest in what you're doing after post funding. I watched, they tell you don't know you don't, people are speaking about you. There are tables where they are mentioning your name. It's always beautiful to now see physically what the table where you are being mentioned into, right? And you can see that it's a spur of the moment, because I didn't tell my program manager I would be there. He didn't tell me he was going to be there, but we met there, like, and it was like all around pitch, pitching for the right thing. These are like the kind of support we got. At the end of the quarter, we also got calls, to ask how is it going. These things that you have written down you wanted to achieve. Is there a challenge? Do you still need any more support? Is there a way we can come in? Do you need anything else from us? People just give you funding and they let you go, right? And they really just feel like they've given you all that you need. And most times when you get funding, you then realize that funding is not all you need.
Interesting. So let's get down to, the practical steps to actually take right now. Let's look at the prerequisites, the requirements, what are the required documents, and how should we go about, putting these documents together?
Yeah, so something they had mentioned very clear is that you should have an MVP, should be registered and incorporated, and something a lot of people don't do in Nigeria is understand that registration is different from incorporation. Incorporation as a company,
That's what we are talking about, CAC registration.
Yes, you have to have your CAC company registration and not a CAC business. I've moved from I want to build to I now sell this, or I have this that users are using, really. They said have some traction, meaning it's okay if your product is out there and people are using it, but people are not currently paying. There's also the part of you can have a product and people are paying for it, but the important thing is you must have a product and there should be some level of user base or paying customer. And then you should be in operation in at least 6 to 2 years, 2 years, which means you should not be springing out of the blues and showing up for the funding, right? And your business model has to be very unique. So you have to be targeting underserved, marginalized population. And this means they don't want us to be building products that limit people that product are usually not targeted at. So it means that whatever you're building has to be an inclusive product, right? And lastly, you have to have two founders, which means you can't be the only one on the project. You have to have a co-founder, somebody who is co-founding. You have to have a co-founding team where there's also one person who is at the core of decision-making process. Lastly, you are angel, pre-seed, or seed. So what that also means is that you have raised money, you have not raised money, but if you have raised money, let's be that you are about to raise like your seed, and if you have not raised money, you're trying to raise your pre-seed, you still fall into it. Have you made money? Have you raised money? Have you not raised money? You qualify. As far as you have not gotten into the Series A and the Series B and the Series D, then good, you fit into their requirements. So these are like what they want, and it's clear when you go to their application portal. It's clearly stated there, and you must be based, like the business must be located in Nigeria. So you cannot be telling us, cannot be applying with a product that is for customer base in UK, even though you're in Nigeria. It has to be building from Nigeria, for Nigeria, and located in Nigeria.
Amazing. Seeing that you've also even spoken about, the need to have a co-founder. I think I'm just going to start a business with Messi pretty soon so that we can go and apply for the fund. Okay, so I don't know if this next question is similar, but I want to know how applicants can increase their chances of being selected. Is there anything special?
Yes. One way to increase your chance of being selected is answering the question the way you were asked. And this is something a lot of people don't do when they are applying for grants. I also had to learn the hard way, right? So I will give an example to maybe one question that is currently on the portal. So there's a question on the application system that says, describe your idea in one sentence. The rule is clear, one sentence. It doesn't make sense that you're trying to make it two sentences. Stick to one sentence. Now, what problem or else in bracket are you trying to solve with your idea? the problem I'm trying to solve with my idea is this, and then you highlight it. That way, it helps you to not start giving unnecessary story. Back then, in 1955, when the world was before com, no, 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 that's not necessary. What problem are you solving? The problem I'm solving, it helps even the reviewer know that you know what you're trying to do. By the time you start giving a lot of context, it means you're losing out, right? Who are the people affected by this problem? So, and so are affected by this problem. Or these are the people affected by this problem. One, Kelechi, Kelechi, a business owner, a pregnant woman, specific, not you ask people who are the people affected by this problem. You now come and the person start telling you there are 157 million Nigerians. They all need, no, they don't have to need your
It's a
solution.
Nigerian thing. It's an African thing. We don't know how to go straight to the
So
point.
just go straight to the point. The question is who is affected. Your answer is so are affected by the problem before you then begin to give context. That way it helps whoever is reviewing to know, okay, this person has the answer. He's not explaining to me why this is the answer. Then you're explaining why something is an answer without mentioning what the answer is. What if I'm exhausted and I don't want to even get to the down point because something we all have to remember as entrepreneurs when we're applying for grants is you're not the only one applying for this fund. So it means they have to read
Exactly.
so many applications. Is there a way you can make reading your application and make their decision making process faster with you when it comes to your application? People like it. They like it that okay, this problem. Oh, okay, this is a problem. That's true. This person has you solve this person's problem without even having to. When I have to read the whole context and the story and the preamble, and maybe I'm having a bad day and I still have to review, and then I remember that I still have like something to by saying the one way to increase your chance is to answer directly to the question. It's the same way. So someone who is lost at the beginning of my conversation in the middle is still catching the point. It's the same way when you are applying for grants. Be clear, give your details, end it with clarity. So even if the person is lost in the bubble, your conclusion still comes back to. So all this, you know, when you're debating, you say, "I hope I've convinced you and not confused you." Bring them back. Bring,
Confused you. Yeah, so brevity, conciseness, succinctness, keep it short and simple. Just go straight to the point. And this is what makes people to be the opportunities to get funds and all of that. So seeing that the closing date for this fund is really, really close, can people still apply? What are their chances? Is it advisable to go ahead and apply right now? Seeing that, there's a very short time frame.
I would say apply. You only lose the shot you didn't fire, right? The real shot you lost out in. Go to the website, confirm that you fit into what they are looking for, click the link, go to the Google form where the questions are best drafts, write now without limitation, write everything you know about that question for your business. Then when you're done with that, you duplicate the documents. Duplicate the documents, now begin to summarize those your response. Right? When you now summarize this response, then the third part of it is if you're very lucky, reach out to an entrepreneur friend and say, is my answer answering the question? Because sometimes we think the answer is answering the question and it's not. But if you don't have anybody, because maybe you are trying to do this a date to the deadline, I would say read out your answers. It's interesting how you see that in reading out your answers, only you just identify that you've not answered the question. So if you don't have an entrepreneur who is going to review this for you swiftly and give you feedback, I would say read out your answers. If you want to be a little bit extra, I would say record yourself reading out the answers, then listen to your recording. In listening to your recording, you're going to start identifying the loopholes, from punctuation, is it making sense, is it a complete sentence? But do
All
you
right.
have a chance to win? Yes, you have. even one day to the close of the application, you do have a chance to win if you decide that you want to apply.
So I want to end on this note, really, before I ask for your final words on the conversation today. Looking at the current economic realities, right now, Nigeria is doing 22.79% inflation. People in the manufacturing sector, businesses are complaining that, they are not making money. What do you think the government, what would your advice be to the government in terms of policies or what they can do, to help businesses, SMEs in terms of funding and what have you?
I think what government can do to help us is create hub where everything we need to do when it comes to governance can be found in one place. The one thing I keep saying is imagine you have one room where you can get in, sort your tax, create your account, do your CAC registration, get go into an information, ask them that, oh, so I'm setting up this business. I need this. I say, for this, go to room 3. For this, go to room 5. For this, go to one building where if you want to start the business, oh, I want to sign up in the hub. Are there funding opportunity available? So for funding opportunity, go to board number 9 on the 3rd floor. Live update. That's what we need now as entrepreneurs. I want to get land for my business. So go to room 17. 17, you're going to get database of land availability. Or I'm trying to get this machinery. I'm running business. So education sector, you're looking for partners. Okay, go to room 51. When you get to room 51, you're going to see fellow educational partners. Yeah. Like one building where you can get all of the information you need. There's already a lot happening outside the world. So what I would need the government to do is set up one building that attends to all entrepreneurs' need, where all the information you can physically walk in there. Say I'm spending my whole day in Nigeria Business Hub, for example, Nigeria Business Hub, and you are moving into Nigeria Business Hub, and in that building, in that compound, every information, even if it needs me to lodge so that I can get to all of the rooms I need to get to, but everything I need is there, and it should be
Well,
digitally inclined. If we can
well,
get that
yes,
sorted,
because I was going to say, in fact, with the technology has taken over. So I feel like we can also leverage on technology. I know the
exactly.
president did something about ease of doing business not long ago, where you can start processing some documents and all online, and accessibility has been made easier and better. Thank you so much for all that you have shared with us today. I don't know if you have final words. Is there any other thing you want to say?
Yeah, I think the final words I would say to any entrepreneur watching this video is it's okay if you don't get selected. Better days are ahead, right? It's okay if you don't get selected after watching all of the videos. It's okay if you
Mm,
don't get selected after following through the process. And it does not invalidate your business. It only means that was not the opportunity for you. And the way to increase your chance is to keep applying for more opportunities. So if it's not working, on to the next one. But that should not make you look down on your business because there are so many reasons why you may not have been selected. Just maybe they found their best 10 or best 20 reviewing the first 100 application and didn't have to read the others. Just maybe the person reading your application do not have an understanding of your sector. Just maybe they selected you, but they also realized they have a short time frame, so they have to pick the top 20 and just interview. Give reasons why you are not selected. And another thing you can also tell yourself, just maybe you were not selected because you're not very informed as to you didn't convince them well enough that you need that kind of money in your business. So, but do not shoot yourself, do not kill yourself, do not it's okay to cry if you don't get selected. I would always cry for every grant I don't get selected for. But when you're done, when you're crying, please find the time to stop crying now
mm.
and not feel bad
That's
about your
that's a
product.
big lesson right there. It's okay if you don't get selected, but you have to keep applying for more opportunities. So don't give up. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you, Lucy Chioma, the founder of Agrodemi. Thank you so much. We've been talking about, how to, get the Grooming Endowment Accelerated Fund. Thank you so much for your time on the conversation today. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And success
All
to
right.
all applicants.
Yes, we wish them success. So you guys go out there, use all the tips that we have shared with you today, and go get it. After all, it's the get one. Okay. All right. So this is where we come to the end of the conversation. It's been an amazing time sharing with you, how to get funding opportunities for your business. Go out there and, just do it. I remain Aranimi, but don't forget you can connect with us on our social media platform on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at MSME Africa. Until we see you next time and bring you more opportunities, stay safe.
Bye.